Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading is a special full moon reading for the full moon in Taurus happening on the 24th of October. So it's happening on Wednesday, tomorrow. I'm actually recording this the day before, even though last night when I was driving home, I saw the moon is quite full, quite impressive, but the actual full moon is happening on Wednesday the 24th. So this is a reading I put out at each full moon, in addition to the full moon giveaway video. So also take a look at that if you're interested. In that separate video, I explain how you can get into the drawing if you're interested in winning a free reading with me. But back to our full moon spread. So I do a different spread for the full moon, and it really just kind of looks at and I'll go through the different positions as I move through the reading, but it looks at what we're releasing at the time of the full moon, what we might be retaining, receiving, the main lessons. So it's really all focused on the energies surrounding us on the full moon. And this particular full moon is, besides being full moon in Taurus, it's often called the full hunter's moon. And it comes after, if we remember last month we had the harvest moon. This month comes in as the hunter's moon. And, if we think of hunters and, kind of the instincts of going out and, hunting for their food and trying to, do that before the winter really sets in, this full moon in Taurus kind of brings us back to our instinctive nature, brings us back to or reminds us of our relationship to the physical world around us as well. So let's keep all of that in mind as we take a look at our spread. Let me go ahead and lower my camera a little bit. And for the full moon reading, I usually use or I have been using the Celestial Tarot, but this month I was glad to use the Osho Zen Tarot deck, so that's what I'm using, or that's what I have used. You can see I've already laid the spread. So a different deck for this month's full moon reading. And just a quick reminder, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate. The only way to get a truly personalized reading, focusing on you, what's going on in your life right now, would be to get a private reading from me. And if you're interested, all of that information can be found in the description box below this video. So starting off here, we have, and we kind of move, the way the spread works is we move from, this side over to the other side, and then the main message sits in the middle. So what we have here in the first position, and this is the position of what we might be releasing, what we are letting go of at the time of the full moon. And we have this would be the Eight of Swords. And in this particular deck, it's called Guilt. And the Suit of Swords deals with, it's the suit of the mind. It's the suit of the intellect. So it's where we come up with our ideas. It's also the suit of communication, right? How we get those ideas across to other people, how we communicate our ideas, right? As this is the suit of the mind. And this Eight of Swords, in the traditional tarot, it usually shows there's a woman and she's usually blindfolded, surrounded by swords, which, it does represent feeling entrapped, right? Feeling as though you're stuck in a situation, not being able to see your way out of the situation. So it's kind of a, like a victim mentality. And I think with this, this card in this particular deck, it shows it quite well. You have the woman and, she looks as though she's just very overwhelmed. And the card itself being called Guilt, we can get very sort of wound up in these, clouds of self-doubt or clouds of guilt or punishing ourselves for, things that didn't work out, failures that we might have had. So, and it's fine to kind of experience these things, but it does get, or it can get toxic when you see there's like all these hands kind of, it's like she's fighting against all of these, these repetitive thoughts, and she feels as though there's no way out, but There is. It's all about calming the mind, right? And understanding that you're the one who has control over your thoughts, over your mind, right? And so it's about keeping our thoughts positive. But this is what we're releasing. So, for some of us, there could be some type of release, right, to do with a situation, maybe a situation that, we might have felt very stuck in, or felt as though, there was no way out of the situation. Could have been feeling very restricted. Maybe this was a relationship that we felt restricted by, a job that, we felt that, and maybe this guilt kind of comes from, it might have been, or it might be a good paying job, but we just didn't feel happy doing it, right? We felt it was like that, that very difficult to kind of get up out of bed, go into work. And, it's that guilt maybe of, well, I shouldn't feel like this. I get paid pretty decent money, and it is just all of the things going round and around in our minds. So it's about, understanding that these thoughts, it's our own thoughts possibly imprisoning, right? There's imprisoning us here. And so there's a release of this, whatever these negative thoughts are, these self-imposed restrictions, freeing ourselves, releasing these in order to move forward. And I see that, coming into the next position here, what we might be holding close or retaining is another swords card, but it's one with a very different energy, right? This would be the Six of Swords. In this deck, it's called the Burden, and this is what we might be, holding close to. But this is really, it's one of the two transition cards in the Tarot. We have the Eight of Cups, the Six of Swords. So, I'm getting that we're transitioning out of all of, this negative, whatever this negative self-restricting type of energy. We're releasing this burden. We're getting rid of that. And we're heading into, or at least transitioning out of this one situation into, one that's going to be better for us. And we have two sixes here. And I'll go ahead and show you the card that comes immediately after this burden card is the Six of Wands. And it's called success, right? And this is what we would be receiving, what might be coming into our lives at this time. And look at there's just a big celebration. Look at the celebration on this card. So, we're transitioning. And I think that this coming up in the what we're retaining is because it is a process, right? As we, sometimes as we move out of a difficult situation, or as we try to get out of this self-restricting thought pattern, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen immediately. There is a kind of transitioning, but the transition is happening here, right? And you can see that, the man on this card, let me hold the transition card up again. You can see how, it looks like he's climbing up this mountain. It looks very difficult, right? And he's actually carrying this other person, on his back. And so it speaks of, all of the burdens, those things that, again, it's the suit of the mind. So the things that we carry with us, all of these loads of, again, mental baggage, things, that we should have done or shouldn't have done, or, we should be doing this faster. I should be able to get to where I'm trying to get more quickly. I should achieve success, more quickly than I am. It's all of these ideas of should have and could have, and, it's their burdens. It's just kind of like all of this baggage that we're lugging around here, right? But we're getting out of this, okay? We're moving out of this. We're transitioning out of, all of this negative thought pattern into this beautiful card of success. The Six of Wands, or the suit of Wands to begin with, is the suit of action, right? It's the suit of, it's fire energy. And so it's very active energy. It's very passionate energy. It has to do with the day-to-day matters that we deal with, such as, the work that we do. It can be business endeavors, creative projects. But then it's our own, ambition, our own passion and drive and determination for getting those things done. And Sometimes the Six of Wands comes out when, we're receiving some type of recognition for a job well done. This could be, at work, you did a good job on a project. This is, receiving the accolades for the job well done. This can be something, a more significant celebration of achievement, like a promotion, a pay raise. But there's definitely, and you can see how they're walking across the world. It's like, you moved out of this and what lies before you here, it's like you have the whole world, in front of you. And it's like this character is really on top of the world. And this is what you have coming in, right? What we might be receiving at the time of this full moon. So, there could have been challenges that, yes, you have, you've been through it, but, look, you came out of it, you transitioned, or you're in the process of transitioning out of it. And there's reason for celebration, right? There's a beautiful, beginning happening here after releasing, after dropping this baggage, after getting out of all of the negative thought pattern. It's a card of great success. And so, there's forward movement here, and you can see that, we're moving towards, let me show you the next card. This is what we have, what's surrounding us at this time, or how the world might be affecting us at this time. And in this deck, we have the suit is the suit of rainbows, which is actually, it would be the suit of pentacles, right? So earth energy here. And it is, the full moon is actually in an earth sign. It's in the sign of Taurus. So, it is quite fitting that we have that surrounding us. So in this deck, it's called Adventure, right? This would be the page of, it's called the page of rainbow, so the page of pentacles, or coins in the traditional tarot. And this is, usually the pages are the ones who bring in messages in the tarot, right? With this being earth energy. Earth energy deals with, can do with the work that we do, the money that we earn, our homes, families, financial prosperity, our resources, right? And with the page could be bringing in, and this could be news about a new job offer. This could be news about a new business venture, something very tangible. And the page, besides being a messenger and bringing news of that, this particular page of Pentacles is somebody who's very, very optimistic, but also very good, at manifesting, since it is earth energy. So bringing those things actually, into reality. And it's interesting because in this deck, it's called Adventure. I love the image. Let me show you again. And you see there's like a child, and this child is kind of standing before this beautiful rainbow. And, the child is trusting, right? Everything is dark around the child, but there's this rainbow of light. And so it's about, trusting in the unknown. And this can, we can plan as much as we want as far as, I'm thinking of, jobs or job opportunities and, what we want for our lives. But sometimes, there is this, we are presented with maybe a new opportunity that, we just have to kind of, much like the Fool, we have to take that leap of faith and trust that, things will work out. And so this card, it's about, it's about embracing whenever you are faced with, this can be a new job opportunity. Maybe this isn't, the new job opportunity is in a different location than where you are, and you're a little unsure or, about moving to that place. It's about embracing this change and the adventure and understanding that it's really all part of, our life adventure. So embrace it much like this child here, with this childlike innocence, but trusting in, this new opportunity. So you have kind of this sense of adventure and new things surrounding you at this time. And it does come immediately after what you might be receiving with the success. And going back here to this card, we also have, they're walking around the world. They're on top of the world. So there could be something to do with movement, forward movement, moving to a different location. We also have movement with the Six of Swords, which, in the traditional tarot, it shows a woman being rowed away in a rowboat kind of moving out of choppy waters into calmer waters. So again, there could be movement, there could be traveling, across the world or to a different country. This could have, even if it's not a different country, it could be, a place that maybe seems quite foreign to you. Maybe if you've always lived in a smaller town, and on one side of the country, this opportunity, it seems like a great adventure because it's in a bigger city. It can be just, a small jump like that, or it could be to a city across the country from where you are. And besides the adventure, what we have here, giving to others, we have trust. Let me hold this up. And this card, this is the suit of water in this deck. So cups, right? Water energy, the suit of cups. And this would be the Knight of Water. In this particular deck, the court cards, they don't have like the names of the court cards on them. They're just given, kind of keywords that go along with them. So the trust, it goes along with the Knight of Water. And the Knight of Water or Knight of Cups is usually the knight in shining armor. The knights are the ones who, they go off on quests. They also, can bring things back from quests. He's usually he comes in holding the Holy Grail, this new offering of love or a new relationship, or it could be a new offering that brings you great happiness, because as this is water energy, the suit of water we associate with our feelings, our relationships, also how our, emotions affect our behavior, affect our relationships. And so this, we can see that this person, he's just kind of free falling here, right? And it's about, having this faith. Again, I'm getting like the Fool energy, trusting in the adventure, trusting in this new opportunity. And we're actually giving this to others. So, it's interesting because we're being asked to kind of have this faith, right, and embrace the adventure. But then we're also sharing this with others. So there might be people who are involved in this move. Maybe this has to do with, a significant other or your family or your children. So you are needing to, to kind of impart this trust, and work with them and kind of together, taking this jump and moving out into the unknown, even if it is quite scary, right? But there is this need for trust, just like with the Fool, right? The Fool jumps off or steps off of the cliff, begins a brand new adventure, a brand new journey, trusting that things will work out, trusting that the universe has his back, right? And so there's this trust here. And so the card kind of asks us to trust and trust life. And especially if we think of relationships, right, as this is the Knight of Cups, any relationship that we get into, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship, it does require trust. We have to put our trust in that company, to go and work there. We have to trust in our friend to know that that person will be there for us, just like we plan on being there for that person. We have to trust our partner, right? If we decide to get into a romantic relationship, it requires a great deal of trust. So, these opportunities that are coming in around the full moon, there could be, a definite need to kind of close your eyes and, trust, move forward, even if you cannot see everything right now, even if all of the, the details in kind of the plan or what's going on, you can't see them all right now. They're not that clear. Trust that, these things are happening. There's a lot of positive energy surrounding whatever this new, opportunity is or adventure. And obviously it's going to play out differently for everybody watching, but trust in whatever this new thing is. Now, beginning soon, we have Major Arcana, and this is number 19 of the Major Arcana, and we have, in this deck, it's called Innocence. And again, you see there's, we have the old man on the card, but he almost has like this childlike innocence about him, right? Look at him, he's staring here, at He's staring at the little insect, and he's kind of in wonderment. You know, he's my phone's talking to me. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Sometimes my phone starts talking. It's Siri thinking that I'm talking to her, I guess. So going back here to the Innocence card, in the traditional tarot, this would be, it's card number 19, which is the Sun. And that's, you know, one of the most positive cards to get, right, in a reading. And it does sit across from the Six of Wands here, right, the Success card. So it's kind of mirroring the Success card. So the Sun speaks of, you know, abundance. The Sun speaks of confidence and enlightenment. Just all things are right in the world, you know, feeling good, good health, things going right in your job. It's a very happy card. Sometimes the Sun is, it doesn't show it obviously in this deck, but it shows the family, or it shows the woman with children. So there could be, again, something to do with children. But in this particular deck, the focus of this Innocence card is on the childlike innocence, right? The innocence of children and how beautiful. And we do have, again, it's interesting because we have the childlike kind of, you know, wonderment and willingness to be open to adventure. We have the need for trust coming in and just, you know, trusting in this new thing. And then we have this going back again to the childlike innocence of looking at life and, you know, finding the kind of like, or if you think back to when you were a child, you know, and even the most simplest of things, it seemed amazing and, you know, wondrous. And now it's fall. Just think back, you know, I remember when I was a child walking down the sidewalk and kind of crunching the leaves. And it's just the simplest of things to do. But as a child, I would love that. And I'd kick all the leaves up in the air. And it's like I could hear the crunching of the leaves beneath my feet. I could smell the smells of fall. You know, I used to love doing that. And it's just finding the beauty and that childlike innocence in day-to-day moments, in day-to-day activities. And so again, this innocence, it's about, you know, the innocence of children being beautiful, but at the same time, you know, simple, right? Simple in the sense that it seems quite silly sometimes, you know, to look at things from that kind of childlike or childish, innocent point of view. But, you know, there is sometimes there does come a time where we're asked to, you know, just put aside, drop everything, you know, drop all of your beliefs, everything that you have been kind of bringing along, right? This baggage that you have brought along for so long, and then release that, right? Release that, drop it, return to innocence. And it's funny because it's like returning back to this innocence. And then the last card, which is our overall message, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with your camera. There is no image here, right? The card itself, it's number 5 of the major arcana. And in this deck, it's called No Thingness. So it's, you know, for nothingness, but they have it written as no thingness. And it's a completely black card. And if we think about, you know, number 5 in the major arcana, what is it? It's the Hierophant. And the Hierophant in the traditional tarot speaks of, you know, well, it can speak of different things. It can be, you know, possibly dealing with large institutions. It can be dealing with, you know, such as like religious institutions or financial institutions, the government, the courts, you know, large educational institutions. So universities, school systems, those types of things. But the Hierophant is also, you know, a religious figure. The Hierophant can be a spiritual counselor. The Hierophant can be a, you know, another type of counselor, like a religious, like it doesn't just have to be a religious counselor. It can be like a psychiatrist, psychologist, you know, somebody that you go and get advice from. But it's somebody who usually follows, you know, is a conformist, somebody who's a traditionalist, somebody who kind of follows, you know, rules and order and traditions. But it's also somebody who has the keys to unlock, you know, higher truths, who has keys to unlock higher wisdom. And with this, in this deck, with it being no thingness or nothingness, what is this really, and this is our lesson, what are we being asked to learn at the time of this full moon, which is also interesting, going back to it being a full moon in Taurus, which is, earth sign. Earth signs do have to deal with, the material things, the tangible things. So it can be finances and material possessions, right? This is about coming back to nothingness, right? To understanding that, and actually let me read you, let me find the guidebook for the nothingness one. I'd like to just read what this one actually says, because I've given you, the overall meaning for the Hierophant card, but in this particular deck, hold on, let me find it, it's quite different. So it says, being in the gap can be disorienting and even scary. Nothing to hold on to, no sense of direction, not even a hint of what choices and possibilities might lie ahead. But it was just this state of pure potential that existed before the universe was created. All you can do now is relax into this nothingness. Fall into this silence between the words. Watch this gap between the outgoing and incoming breath, and treasure each empty moment of the experience. Something sacred is about to be born. Buddha has chosen one of the really very potential words, shunyata. The English word, the English equivalent, nothingness, is not such a beautiful word. That's why I would like to make it no thingness, because the nothing is not just nothing. It is all. It is vibrant with all possibilities. It is potential. It is absolute potential. It is unmanifest yet, but it contains all. In the beginning is nature. In the end is nature. So why in the middle do you make so much fuss? Why in the middle, becoming so worried, so anxious, so ambitious? Why create such despair? Nothingness to nothingness is the whole journey. And it's very interesting that, all of this, we have references to releasing baggage, right? Releasing, and this baggage, it's here as mental baggage. But if we think about, people who decide to, to go for that more minimalist type of lifestyle and just, whittling down their lives to kind of, a suitcase or a backpack. It's that idea of, getting rid of what you don't need. But then there's this journey, right? We have the journey, the successful journey. And then these three cards really all speak of, the potential, what's coming in, it's almost there. It's trying to manifest. There could be a need to, to have this or take on this childlike, innocence and this childlike trust in what's happening. And it's almost like the lesson here is that we might be in this in-between moment, but just because, nothing is happening right now doesn't mean that no thing is happening, if that makes sense. It means that, there are a lot of things happening, right, behind the scenes. We are moving forward. We are progressing. But sometimes it does take a little bit of time, right? And so there is this need to trust as we, move into whatever this new opportunity is. But it's definitely, there is manifestation here, and new things are coming in. But, what we are learning here is to embrace this nothingness, embrace this in-between moment, and understand that, just like everything along the fool's path, right? This number 5, it's just one step on the fool's path. Each step is, it serves its own purpose to, to help to push the fool along until he reaches the end of that particular journey. But, definitely releasing a need to release. We have exciting things coming in, right, and surrounding us, really trying to manifest. Could be, again, it could have to do with a job. It could have to do with a move. And then trust. There's a big need, to trust in the process, trust in this nothingness, this in-between state that we are, and understand that, just because nothing is happening, there are things happening, right? It's about embracing and trusting in the process now. So I do hope that the messages have helped you. I thank you for joining me today. Look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful full moon. Bye for now.